Well, let's see what happened. I am right now in Las Vegas, Nevada. A beautiful state of Nevada. This town is a how can I say? It's a wonderland. It's a wonderland. If you actually see and you come down from the hills, from the mountains, from like Boulder City on Highway 11 or Interstate 11, and you see that this town all light up and all these beautiful lights, and then you see the moon on top of it, a full moon. I mean, it's just a beauty in the middle of the desert. Now, this town was created because a void, and the void was the island of Cuba. Back in the days after 1898, when the United States of America took possession of the geography of the island of Cuba, it became basically a gambling casino. The whole island became occupied, but it never actually became part of the United States of America. The people of the island were Spaniards. They were Spaniards, so they did not have that Anglo-Saxon acceptance because the Spaniards were fighting the English for millennia. I mean, forever. So it became basically an ownership of the geography and commerce via the Platt Amendment. The Platt Amendment is an imposition of the United States of America, basically saying the people of the island of Cuba, they can self-govern except their commerce. They cannot control their commerce and their foreign policy. Basically, they just became part of the United States of America, and the United States of America will dictate to them how to be Cubans, basically, or to be Spaniards in Cuba. So because of that, the island was inundated by casinos, by United States of America industries of all type, and became one of the most wealthy places on this planet until 1959, when Mr. Castro El Gallego decided, hey, that's it, enough. I came here and I'm going to tell you to stop, because they were changing the population of the island. They were destroying the people of the island. They were making them Anglo-Saxons, basically. And because of that, all these gambling casinos and all these decadency, what I call it, everything that was negative and at the same time was an industry, moved to Las Vegas, Nevada. And also Atlantic City. And that is why we have Las Vegas today, because people cannot longer go to Cuba and gamble. All the mafia guys from Italy, remember, they are the same people. The Spaniards and the Italians are the same. It's no difference. So they fell right at home in Cuba, making all that money. So today, what we got? We got Las Vegas, Nevada, a beautiful town. But is it a beautiful town? If you really pay attention, close attention No, yes, drive by and spend your money and leave. But if you really look into people's life, you know, how they live here, and you know, the how can I say, the way of life in the city of Las Vegas, you will right away recognize the it's not as smooth and happy as you think. I'm gonna tell you why. It's no longer capitalism what is happening in Las Vegas. No longer capitalism. We have several systems of governance the humans have created, and we assign them names like socialism and capitalism. Socialism is a word about humans' social behavior, how to handle social behavior, and basically the idea created by the Romans is the Romans and the Greeks. You know, I don't want to get into it, but basically the Greeks are the Romans and vice versa, and the Etruscans and the Latins and the Savinos and all this bunch of tribes. They're the same people. Well, they created this idea of socialism. Basically, the planning of the economy. The economy is planned. For example, the Spartans and all these people, they planned their economy, and how they plan their economy is very, very simple. Having a slave to do the work, so they have the time to kill each other and conquer other tribes. So that is socialism. It's the planning of the economy. Now, capitalism, from the word capital, like the capital city, you know, like the capital is the top of something. You know, you are in a Capitol Hill in Rome, right? Basically, it's not about planning. It's about the need, what the capitalists need, what the people who live on how can I say, create on the top needs. So it's to serve their needs. Basically, whatever they need is what is going to be produced the most. And you see that layout in Las Vegas, Nevada, that we do no longer have neither capitalism or socialism. What we have is close to fascism. And what is fascism, you might ask? Fascism is basically a social, like the Roman socialist, without the planning. Is whatever the industrialist or whoever the most powerful industrialist can manipulate to grow themselves is what is going to happen. The industrialists will control the political power, the politicians, and the politicians will create laws to benefit that power. So now, what the hell am I talking about? Pretty simple. Minimum wage. A minimum wage, you know, the money that you earn while you work. Remember, the Romans, socialism is a slavery. It's being controlled by slavery. You know, they earn they can plan because they got slaves. So now we cannot have a slave. So what we do, we create minimums of income to create an illusion. The people are no slave. So let's analyze that right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. If everyone here in Las Vegas, Nevada, right now is making $30 an hour, right? Let's make it 32. Make it look good. Making $32 an hour. And they cannot afford to eat and to stay and to gamble and to have a good time in the same city where they work. They cannot do it because $32 an hour is not enough. But you have to understand that they are happy because they have a job and they go home every day to a home and they have a car and they have a television. So they are barely making it, but they are happy. But now you have another section of the population. They do not make $32 an hour. They make $7 an hour. That is below poverty, basically. Because if the person making $32 an hour is barely making it, and now you're making $7 an hour, guess what? You are poor. You're basically starving. So and they do most of the work. The guys making the $7 an hour are basically supporting those making 32, if you will. Without these guys making $7 an hour, the guys making 32 will be starving too. So it's like a pyramid, right? So now to not to make it too complicated, because of course it is, what I do is utilizing socialist technique. Socialist equal slavery. Remember the Romans, the Greeks. So now what we do, we combine the two. We say the industrialist or the capitalist need X amount of workers. How are we going to obtain them? Well, what we do, we create this make-believe money, and we tell everyone that we are going to give them a minimum wage, a minimum amount of money, so they can live well and happy. And now I go from $7 an hour to $15 an hour. $15 an hour. So now everybody's happy because they giving me something. They giving me something. Somebody's giving me something. The industrialists are giving me something. Analyze the data. What just happened? What just happened is by percentage. By utilizing socialist techniques, they just close the gap in between the almost making it at $32 an hour to the one that was starving at $7. But they did not raise the standard of living of the one making $7 an hour. No, the opposite. They reduced the standard of living of the guy making the 32. Because remember, the guy making the 32 was living off the one making 7. The guy who built his house, otherwise he cannot afford his house, if you will. So basically that is what is happening right here in Las Vegas. What is happening right here in Las Vegas is that by manipulating free market, and that is the key. The key is not the name of the economical idea or strategy. No, it's not about the name. What is really need to be looked at is free market, a free economy, where truly the need of the population dictate prices without manipulation from anyone, without manipulation of industrialist or socialist, neither. Basically a free market, and free market will fix itself, and we no longer have free market in places like Las Vegas. You know, it's just completely controlled. They control what people earn, and they control the amount of effort that they can put into to earn money. Basically, they pass rules and regulation to make you work less, if you will. An example of that is you have two individuals, two making $32 an hour, right? And one love to work. He's single. He have nothing to do at home but watch TV and cook himself with CNN and NPR in association with the BBC London. So he decided, no, I'm going to work overtime every day. So he doesn't no longer work 8 hours a day. Now he works, let's say, 14 hours a day. So he will earn more money than the guy who wants to go home and listen to BBC London or NPR and get conditioned to believe that people have to give him a $15 an hour minimum wage. So now that man is going to earn less. But knowing that, the politicians come in and say, no. You can only work 8 hours a day because we got a rule, and we're going to pass a rule to help your children. And that's the end of it. So as you see, Las Vegas, Nevada is no longer a city where you see a free marketplace. What you see right here is a program economy that is controlled just to make it work, just to keep people happy, so they cannot go hungry, so the country will not collapse. But if eventually it will collapse, just like it collapsed in Cuba, just like it. When the government in Cuba established socialism as an economical strategy, what they did was just bringing back Rome into the Caribbean. That's it. And it was based on slavery. And you can go out there and make sure that you understand it. The Cuban government every weekend used to come out and say, hey, everybody, voluntary work, and everybody's going down to the fields to grow tomatoes and whatever. Voluntary work. And if you don't do it, it's against the people. It's against the revolution, the socialists. So if you see, that is how it works. They want you to work for nothing. And when they see that it's collapsing, what they do, they give you a little. They give you. But they're not really giving you. You have to come out from some place. So you guys out there who are making a little money and having 3 or 4 jobs, busting you body to make a living, and then you claiming the raise of the minimum wage is a good thing, guess what is going to happen to you? The moment the guy cooking you hamburger at McDonald's start making $15 an hour and you're making $32 an hour, the gap have closed. Now you are making $8 an hour. that is the true reality of it. Do the math, and you will see that all this is a control economy. They are planning the economy. The United States of America and the city of Las Vegas and every other major city in the United States of America do not longer have free commerce. It is controlled by regulations. It is controlled by politicians being on the take by the industrialists and so on and so on. So Fry's, the electronic store, just collapsed. They just closed, and there is a reason for it. It's because now we have super duper electronic companies. They have no whatsoever place in the geography of any city. They got centers of warehousing, and they bringing all these product from outside the United States of America, in this case from outside Las Vegas, and they call you Americans to confuse you, and they are basically Romans. Basically what they doing is making you a slave of all this product, and eventually will collapse because it's no longer free market. It is a how can I say, a planned economy. Well, my rant is over. I think I've been talking too long. I started with a plot amendment and finished with minimum wage created by the federal government of the United States of America and every city. But if you see, it's all correlated. It's a chain. It's a chain reaction. We are humans, and we have been humans now for quite a long time, and we have figured out how to control other humans. And what we need is the opposite. We need to teach every single human that born on this planet to control themselves and advance civilization. And it is not easy, I can tell you. That is not easy. How to do it, I wish I knew. But I know it must happen, because the planet will cease to exist. And by that time, in a couple million years, we must have the ability to travel to other planets, other worlds that we humans can and I, in my opinion, will achieve somehow. Saludos.